thanks for coming back again for another week's edition of the Horror Debate. I am Jeff Rowdy J. Kier, and alongside me is Mr. Michael Mandy.
And this week we are debating from 1982, Friday the 13th, Part 3.
Yeah,
the film
3D.
3D, that's right.
That's right.
I saw this in a movie theater wearing those 3D
So
glasses.
did I. So this is the first Friday the 13th that I actually saw in the theater.
And, you know, I was so looking forward to this movie because it's directed by Steve Miner, who directed Part 2. And the end of Part 2 just ended and had lots of questions. Mm-hmm. I mean, Jason comes crashed through the window, and he gets hacked in the shoulder, and then he comes crashing through the window. The screen fades, and then you just see Ginny being carried out going, Paul, where's Paul? Uh-huh. Where's Paul? And then it ends. And you're going, wait a second, the goofy joke-telling dude is still back at the bar. Where's Paul? Ginny's going off to the hospital. What's going on? I can't wait for Part 3 to answer all these questions. And I sit here, and we're at a truck stop, and this lady's doing laundry.
Why is it that when we get to Part 3 of good franchises, it all falls apart?
And then the guy spends time at going to the toilet.
Why is that, Mikey?
What the heck happened?
We got to Season of the Witch. We got to Friday the 13th Part 3D.
Well, I don't know.
Jaws 3D.
Yeah, something about those.
What happens to the threes?
Beats me. I don't know. Maybe they just figure they've got it. They go
on autopilot?
I think so. Autopilot.
Is that what happens?
We've got the audience, and they're going to come back.
You know, because it bothers me. And didn't it happen to Freddy too? No,
well,
number 3 was like the Dawkins one, right? Number 3 was like...
Part 2 was the child one.
Yeah, and then you had Dream Warriors, I think, was number 3, and that was the Dawkins one, which wasn't bad. So, so Freddy circumvented the problem. Okay,
well, but
good.
Part 2 sucked.
Well, right. So it came a little earlier. Okay, all right. So, but this film did not pick up where 2 left off. So you're kind of starting fresh.
Yeah, and I was like, "What the hell?" God, that pissed me off.
And then you end up with a 3D
and it's directed
mix.
by the same guy.
Well,
That's
wait a minute
though.
I think what they were concentrating on was trying to get this whole 3D thing down, and they wanted to make sure they had enough scenes in it to make the 3D worthwhile. Mm-hmm. So they decided to kind of start fresh, make kind of a new chapter, right? Uh-huh. Not the final chapter. We're not there yet. We're talking about number 3. But what I'm saying is that maybe that's why they did that. Maybe that's why they did a little bit of a reset. You know?
I don't know. And not only that, why is it that and at the end of Part 2 they showed what Jason looked like. Half of his face was all kind of bumpy and bald, and the other half was all long-haired, and he kind of had a beard and whatever. All of a sudden, in this film, he looked
like that one guy. What was that movie we watched? Was it not The Gatekeeper? What was that? The guy, the real ugly guy. He was like Castle Freak.
Yeah.
You know, you got to remind me of that vibe, you know?
But I mean, in this movie, he just looked like a big, ugly, bald, I don't know, the dude from Hills Have Eyes, you know? It's like, what the hell?
Right.
And I don't know.
I don't know either, Mike, but I'll tell you what. The thing is with this is the 3D made it fun in the movies. And I remember being a kid going to see this thing, and down on the the 2-screen setup, they only got 2 screens in the whole joint. Mm-hmm. One's playing like a kid's film and one's playing Friday the 13th.
Yep.
And I went, and with my friends and everything, and we were so psyched, to see this 3D deal. Because back then when you're a kid, 3D is so cool.
That's right. And a lot of films were coming out in 3D.
And I remember we enjoyed it. I remember not worrying about the continuity nearly as
I
much.
Did.
Well, of course you did, because you're like that, But
I was like, what happened to Paul?
It was fun because it was kind of an event, It felt like it was an event, a 3D event, Back then, like you said, a lot of movies are coming out in 3D, and we were like, wow, Friday the 13th 3D, this could be dope,
Yeah, and instead we got eyeballs shooting out at you.
Yeah, but the scenes ended up to be a little
hokey,
especially when you watch them now. You're like, oh, that's terrible, Yeah. But back then, when you're sitting in the theater with your buddies and you're howling and having a good time,
I did not like this movie. I thought it was hokey. It's like the motorcycle gangs look like they just stepped out of the Beverly Hills Motorcycle Club.
Absolutely. This movie was not nearly as in tune with what horror fans wanted.
This was like the 80s glossy version of, it's kind of like, Miami Vice is not real cops undercover in Miami, folks. Come on.
Wait, they're not?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Mike! Don't run. I've always pictured Don Johnson as a Miami, cop
As a tough, real
that
cop.
drives a Lambo or Ferrari and the white outfit. So come on, Mike.
Yeah,
Don't run it for me.
So anyway,
So, but
this feature had an interracial biker gang that's afraid to curse.
well,
Come
yeah,
on.
yeah. But you know what, Mike? Here's the deal on this movie. Just plain and simple.
We hate these people. We're going to show them we're a tough biker gang. We're going to siphon their gas.
They're making it for kids.
Yes.
At this point. They're making
Yes.
it for kids.
Yes.
And you got a big dose of that right off the bat in this movie. It's not really, I don't even really consider this movie a true sequel in the sense that it doesn't follow. It's kind of its own deal.
But I mean, part 2 took itself seriously. I mean, just the acting wasn't that good.
Well, you're right.
But
I wasn't that affected by the acting in number 2, to be honest with you.
But I mean, the thing is, this movie had a totally different vibe to it. I mean, I had to watch the special features. They really did go on location, but the lighting, it looked like a set.
Did you notice the outdoors?
Yes, they
How
looked
terrible they
fake.
Yeah, they looked phony.
And I was shocked when I saw that, no, they were real.
Yeah.
But it's like, part 2 looked more real than part 3. Part 3 looked very artificial.
It's because of the cameras they had to use, I think, in order to make the 3D, and it's too bad because it does really, really look phony.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, you got to give this at least one view. I don't think you're probably going to give it more than that.
No. And also, what the heck? The main girl in this film, she says, "Oh, I can't go back there again because last year I went into the forest."
Oh,
because
the
I was
story.
mad.
I remember
Her
the story.
And it's like, I'm watching the story. She said, and I fell asleep, and when I woke up, this weird mongoloid guy was chasing me.
Yeah.
And I screamed, and I passed out, and I woke up in my bed, fully dressed.
Right.
But it scarred me for life. And I'm like, what? He could have been asking for change.
Right.
You know what? I mean, I get more heebie-jeebies walking down the street of San Francisco and someone going, "Hey, got a smoke?"
Yeah.
I mean, what did this dude? This is Jason Voorhees who chased after her, and he even recognized her because he went, "Hey, remember me?" and flipped his mask up and went, "Oh,"
right.
and put his mask back down.
Yeah.
So obviously it wasn't a figment of her imagination. But what did Jason do? He didn't rape her. He didn't kill her. He didn't do nothing. He just chased her around a tree. She passed out, and he carried her home. Here, you lost this, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, we're way off the beaten path on this film, Mike.
It just blows me away. This was directed by the same person.
Yeah, it does make sense.
So,
all right, well, you know what? 2 stars.
yeah.
It's 2 stars.
You know what? I'm going to take it one lower because even the music sucked in this movie.
Yeah, I
One
had a
star.
few thrills when I was a kid with this thing because of the 3D, and that's why I'm giving it 2. Looking at it now,
I hated the 3D.
Doesn't. I mean, it's bad.
It's bad and it's cheesy.
But you know what? You got to see it one time. I don't consider it a true sequel in the sense of sequels because it feels like its own story.
This movie is where Jason gets his hockey mask.
Yeah. Well, there's a star right there.
And there you go. Here's another stupid plot. So this guy, Shelley, he's like the overweight guy, and he's hoping to score with the hot chick. And of course, she even looks at him and says, "No, I don't think so."
Uh-huh.
Hey, my friends are taking me out to a cabin. I'm gonna bring a full-body wetsuit and a working spear gun,
Right.
and a hockey mask.
Right.
Why did he bring this up to a cabin in the woods?
Yeah. I remember the spear shot.
Yeah, and it's like, what's the point of it? This would not happen.
Yeah, the spear shot.
You know,
I don't
obviously
know.
someone writing the script said it would be cool
If this flew towards the screen,
Right.
freaked everybody out. That's what I said. They wrote it around the 3D.
Yeah. So
Obviously.
just disappointed with this film.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, bad film.
Alrighty.
1 star. I'm
2.
Mike. 1.
2.
1.
1.5.
I'm Michael Mandy. He's Rowdy Jeff. We'll talk to you next week at the Horror Division.